What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Copy Podcast. And as you can see, there's a slightly different intro. We haven't used that one for a while, the Reds in Europe show, but it's back. The Reds are in Europe, and we're going to talk about the Reds in Europe. If you're watching we're on YouTube and Twitter today, so if you want to throw your comments in nice and early, then that'll be boss. But yeah, anyway, I'm Mick, and I'm joined by Kristian as usual. How you doing, Kristian? I was gonna say your second name, but do you want to?
You can explain it then, because I couldn't explain. If my last name was Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal. Yeah, so I sent Kristian a little video of Jake Gyllenhaal on like an American show, and the American presenter was just basically butchered the second name. I sent it to Kristian, and he quite enjoyed it because obviously the Swedish connection there.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's because obviously I've been on my holes and I've been slacking, so we haven't done a show for a bit. And I think the first game after that was it the Bournemouth game? We done a Twitter Spaces, didn't we? Ahead of that one, obviously 9-0. Very good.
I was like 9 beers in, so
yeah. The Twitter Space, that was hilarious. So I was just like, Kristian, what do you think of the game? And you were like, yeah, I can't wait.
But I did say though, and I remember that I said if we can have like 2 goals quickly have 2 goals, I think we would be fine because we need that, and that's what happened. So I take credit for it.
Yeah, exactly. And we started off the best way we could, and then obviously the Newcastle game. I mean, it ended very, very well. It ended very well, but it wasn't the best game to watch in terms of we knew what Newcastle were going to do, and they did well against an out of form Liverpool side as well, didn't they?
Yeah, that was, it's a bit of a difficult thing when you play Bournemouth and you win 9-0, when everything goes really well and you're just thinking, yeah, we're back on track, and then we struggle against Newcastle, even if we came away with the 3 points. And it was a great way, obviously, to end that game in that way because, with the celebrations and all that, that's what you want as a supporter as well. But you don't want to sit there, on your, and wait until the 98th minute and then win it, even if that's great. But you don't want to have that kind of drama every game. But it's hard when you do 9-0 and then struggle. And then obviously now with the derby, we had our chances, didn't put them away. So, it's a little bit tricky one where we actually are, because we do play well at some part of the game. So sometimes we really look sloppy. So still there's something, like we said before, that's not really, clicking, or it's not actually the rhythm that we're after. So it's still problems, and hopefully we can just get it sorted, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, just before we get into the Everton game, we've just got a few comments. We've got Doug in. Hello, Mick and Kristian. Nice one, Doug.
Hello.
The Road End Pod. Dom, nice one. You've been away. You never rubbed our nose in that, mate. Yeah, just a picture of me having a meat toss in front of the pool every day just to wind Kristian up. Just had to do it.
Yeah.
The 9-0 was a freak. The real test was Newcastle, and we came through it. And Dicho's in, nice one, and afternoon, lads. The Cater situation stinks. Yeah, we'll get on to that in a sec. And then Dom's agreeing with Ant. Yeah, so the Everton game, let's just talk about that one, obviously, a bit more in detail, because that's the most recent one. Obviously, we just spoke about the Newcastle one and the Bournemouth one, but the starting 11 for the Everton game, obviously, Robertson dropped to the bench, Tsimikas came in, and he went proper balls out, or balls deep with the midfield, just went Elliott, Fabinho and Carvalho. That was a surprise, wasn't it? I was definitely surprised. I thought Millie would definitely play that one.
Yeah, I had I put on Twitter, asking people if they would prefer actually to have a midfield with Carvalho, Elliott and Fabinho playing, but that was not for the derby though, because a derby is a derby, and I guess, we were all thinking that Milner would play because you need legs in the midfield, in the middle of the park to, defensively, and also someone who's experienced. But yeah, when that came out, I was a little bit excited, but you could tell straight away it wasn't the most clever thing to do.
Yeah, I think you could see straight away, couldn't you? The first maybe 10, 15 minutes that it wasn't going to be a classic, but it was one of them. Like they could have won it, and we could have won it. And I think it's just one of them. Like Pickford made 8 saves, I think, in the game. Nunes could have scored an absolute near enough a Torres carbon copy against Blackburn, where he chests it off the Carragher long ball and loops it over the keeper, and he Pickford saves it, and obviously Diaz hits the post or the bar after that, and then Salah misses. Pickford saves Salah's chance towards the end. So we had more than enough chances, but like just gonna have a little quick look at the stats if I can find them on here. Shots on target. Do we have many shots on target? We did definitely, but I can't find them. Can't find them, Kristian. Don't worry about it. But were you impressed with Everton? I think their setup was pretty much so predictable, wasn't it? They were just going to sit back and counter, and the counter attack was pretty good, to be fair.
Especially when we had corners, that was dangerous.
Oh yeah,
I didn't expect us to be that bad, even when we had offensive corners, to let them actually go and win the ball and play us straight through us in that way, because that looked dangerous like 3 times. I think 3 times they had that chance where I thought they actually were going to score, and once Alisson saved us, with a proper save. Even if the ball comes straight at him, he needs to come out and actually make himself big. But I didn't expect us to be that sloppy in that way. I did expect Everton to fight, because they know that they're not as skilled as this Liverpool team. Even if we haven't been at our best, we are really great when we are good, and they know that, and they actually did fight. You can tell at Goodison we had a good atmosphere as well. So I expected a fight from Everton. I didn't expect them to be that playing that well that they did, but I think that we still didn't put up a fight as we expect us to do, and that's the problem. I still think during this season, like in the start of it, because like we said earlier when we did I think it was, I can't remember if it was just before the Bournemouth game or whatever it was, but we said that you can play badly, but you still need to put in a fight, because you can actually win games by not playing well, but you fight. You can look at Tottenham actually doing that. They haven't been impressive, but they kind of fighting, running, and they come away with 3 points in some games anyway. And that's what you need. If you're not playing well, you need to put in the fight, and then you can come away with 3 points, and you get 3 points, and you can actually get a grip in the top of the table. But if you don't do that, then you have problems.
Yeah, I think it was the Man United game where we both done a show straight after, and it was just like, where's the fucking I give a fuck about this game? Because it just wasn't there. I found the stats. They're not that interesting. We had loads of shots. We had 23 shots. They had 14. We had 8 on target, of course, like I mentioned before. Pickford saved 8. They had 3 on target. We had 61% possession, which you can expect, but it's just the same cutting edge, isn't there? I think that midfield we picked, if we were in tip-top form and tip-top condition, that midfield thrives. But when you're in a position where we're in at the moment in terms of fitness, form, injuries, then it doesn't really relate onto the field in the same way that you want it to. But there's a few comments we'll just fly through as well. Road End Pod, once we get the midfield maestro back in the midfield, I can see things really changing. Yeah, he was training today, I saw, which is boss news. Doug's back in. The last one you guys did was the Man United review, and the one Kristian threatened to shave his head if we lost 4-1. Oh, yeah. Oh, I wish that would have happened. Peter Hansen, hello, Swedish audience here as well. Oh, nice one, Peter.
Nice. Yeah, I know him. He's a good friend.
Oh, good fella. Yeah. Rodan Pod, I was really excited once the team got announced. I think in hindsight, though, Milner would have been a sensible choice for the scrappy game. It was always going to be. Yeah, definitely agree with that. And hope the media start asking more questions about Keita. Look at inside Anfield, all injured players jumping, celebrating, nowhere to be seen. Yeah, and Dave, the lads, nice one, Dave. Yeah, the whole Keita thing, we might as well talk about that quickly.
Yeah,
is a bit mad, and I think Klopp got asked about him, and he said he didn't really want to answer it, and he was just kind of like, yeah, it's a muscle injury. He's going to be out for a while. That was it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, he'll be back in 2 weeks, and then he doesn't obviously get picked in the Champions League squad, which I don't think is a big deal because the condensed nature of the Champions League before the World Cup's happening, which still seems mad that the World Cup's going to happen before Christmas. That just blows my mind every time I think about it.
Yeah.
But do you reckon it's kind of obviously the Mello signing as well? To me, that just says Keita's getting binned off and Melo's as a temporary stopgap until we maybe find a permanent solution, or if he maybe there's the permanent solution.
Yeah, could be that they, with the loan of Arthur now when he comes in, and we get the chance to actually buy him next summer if everything goes well. I think that's the way of just see if he suits to play with us, if he has the qualities that we need. And I think I haven't seen him that much, but I remember when he came through in Barcelona as very young, he was good, and then obviously he have had his injuries and stuff. But if he actually shows that he got the quality so we can buy him, I think that's kind of just, rotate him in and then cater out. Because like you said, when he's not picked in the Champions League squad, obviously now if he's injured and out for a longer period of time, then there's no point for him to be in the squad when we got Arthur and the other players coming back. But, without Klopp actually saying anything else than just saying, well, like you said, don't really want to talk about it. It's hard to tell, but I just get the feeling that we won't really see Keita much play in a Liverpool shirt, because obviously with his contract running out as well, there's no points anymore. It's just I had hopes for him many times. He still get injured, and he hasn't really shown to be the player that we saw when he was in Leipzig. So
Yeah, and that's the most frustrating thing, isn't it? Because he's a good
been for
player.
a few seasons now as well. So but you can't feel that he actually played. Like you've seen him score a few goals. He had a great games, but it's like he's a player that you always forget about, that he actually plays for Liverpool.
Yeah, because I think we always expect him to be the player that we bought in the same way. But I think last year I think he was good at being the Gini Wijnaldum left side of a midfield three. I think he had to tailor his game a lot to do that in the same way Wijnaldum had to. He was an attacking midfielder or left winger. So sometimes for Holland and Newcastle, he had to tailor his game to be a left centre mid for us, and he was perfect at it because he had all the attributes like shielding the ball and ball carrying and passing.
And the lungs as well. He could run up and down all the time.
Yeah, the engine. He ticked all the boxes, and that's why he was a perfect Klopp player. So I think Keita got himself to a good level in terms of that last year, but I just think there's too many. I mean, Wijnaldum was never injured. Keita's always injured. So when you go from Wijnaldum to Keita, then you need good backups. And obviously Thiago is the main one, and Keita's the backup, and the both between them aren't available enough, which is the most frustrating thing. But Rodan Pods I was glad Klopp noticed the Blues exploiting our right when he put Milner there and had the balls to change it and bring in Joel on. Yeah, definitely. Mark G, nice one, Mark, for jumping in. Afternoon, Mick and Chris. Dave's, but I think something has happened with Naby other than an injury. Yeah, I think it looks like that at the moment. And then Rodan Pod, I don't think he's injured, Dave, and muscle injuries, things have covered up. Yeah, I mean, who knows, to be fair, but I think all the signs, just like what's been going on, I think did he come back into training and then he got injured again, did he? I don't know.
I think the information was that he was actually back and probably available, and then he wasn't in the squad again, and then reports came saying he was injured again. So
and Jay's told you, because Jay, when was it, Jay? I can't remember it. I think it was about a month or two ago, and Jay was like, I think Jay pretty much said, I think something else is going on rather than fitness. And I think, to be honest, Jay, I kind of laughed like, I don't believe that, but you're right, lad. You're right. Mark G has put, looking forward to Ramsey being fit to give Trent a rest, and when Millie is needed, can slot in mid instead of that at RB. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think that's another thing where having Gomez, especially for the game tomorrow, which we'll come on to in terms of slotting Gomez over to the right maybe and keeping Trent out, but we do need a second option for Trent, don't we?
What's the status with Ramsey? Do you know? Because he's been injured since he came, and I think Klopp said something about a back injury because he's growing and all that. But you don't hear anything that he's soon back, or this.
I think he was training. I think the Liverpool Twitter page posted he was training last week. I don't think he was in the training today, so he might just be in partial training, just for now until he gets back up to full speed. Yeah. But he definitely, I mean, we can't put too much pressure on him because obviously we lost Neco Williams to obviously give Ramsey that the whole slot to himself as the backup right back. So we haven't even seen anything yet, which hopefully we will soon. Ants put, sadly think Ox and Chamberlain are done with us. Think we should have at least sold one of them in the summer. Yeah.
Who would buy them though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. That's
but
the thing, isn't it? I think before the Ox injury, I was
yeah,
like thinking that maybe we should try and get rid, but if there's no one there to buy him and then he gets injured again, then you
there was a
can't
few
like
rumors about West Ham being interested and stuff, but
yeah, it was like 10
not much
million or
into it
so,
really.
or
Yeah,
between 5 and 10 million, and then I was kind of like, that's a bit cheap, but I suppose when you factor in the fucking injuries and that, it's just ridiculous. The Fulham review, I think, yeah, it was. I think I think Kristian was in his car. Those days he's upgraded now. He's on
exactly.
he's on his laptop. Let's just go through a couple of these. Dom's back in. Trent is either A, shattered, or B, in neither some competition, more than likely a bit of both. Yeah, defo and Ants, but I'm looking forward to seeing Ramsey. Trent badly needs a rest. Yeah, that's just one of them, innit? Like we need that backup. And I think
Yeah, and players who push each other, without saying that Ramsey, Trent is a different class in the way he plays in that position. But you need players that push each other, just like Tsimikas has actually pushed Robertson, and we can actually give him a rest as well. So you know that you don't lose too much quality when you substitute that kind of players, when you rotate or whatever. But we don't have a right back at the moment. We only have Trent and Milner. Obviously now with age, he's what we saw against Everton when he came in and played there. They were just aiming at his side all the time, when he struggled. And that's the thing. If he comes into midfield, I think there's another point which another comment said before. But I think we need someone who actually pushes Trent to keep his level all the time, because it feels like he's maybe tired, but also like he's sure that he's going to start every game, and you need sometimes to be, woken up that you actually can't be guaranteed a place in the squad or in the first starting 11 all the time. You need someone actually push to keep you develop as well.
yeah, and I think that's kind of where we're at with the Robbo and Tsimikas, where Robbo can come out for a game and Tsimikas is in, and you're kind of like, well, either or, because if someone's not in form
Exactly.
or someone's not 100% there, maybe fitness wise or sharpness or whatever else it might be, then you've got an option there. But I thought we've spent 17 minutes there on other stuff, so I just thought we'd start chatting about Napoli, because I've just looking about our recent record against them. So we've only played, so what was it, 2, 4, 6 games against them. The last game was November 2019. We drew 1-1 at Anfield. We lost 2-0 at their place in September 19. We won 1-0 in December 2018 at Anfield. We lost at their place in 2018, and then we won at our place in November 2010 and drew with them in October 2010. So 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. I think that says it all about Liverpool versus Napoli in terms of maybe evenly matched, and going to their places quite difficult.
Was it
But
back in
what do you?
2010 when Gerrard scored like hat-trick, he came on or something like that? Or is that...
Yeah, so that was the November 2010 3-1
Must have
win.
been in the like Europa League or something.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think Gerrard came off the bench. Yeah, Gerrard
Yeah,
came off the
I
bench
think so.
on half time and scored a second half hat-trick.
Yeah.
But at their place, which it is tomorrow, that's going to be more tricky. What are your thoughts going into that one generally?
First of all, I think when they came into the group, well, we have Rangers, Ajax, and Napoli in our group, and I was thinking straight away, it's like not Napoli again, because I'm a little bit bored, because it feels like we played Napoli, quite often lately, but it's not that much though. But we do struggle when we play against them. Like we had a few games where we actually, it looked easy, we won, but lately, like you said, it seems like we've been struggling. But then they also had Ancelotti as manager as well, most of the times, and he's brilliant in tactics and stuff. But Napoli away is a tough game. I think it's the toughest games of a group anyway. Like you go into Ajax or Rangers away, it won't be easy, but I think Napoli is the toughest one. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of, I would be happy with a draw. and no injuries, maybe rotate a little bit, and take that going to the other games in that group later on.
Yeah, I think it's definitely in a positive way. It's the hardest game out of the way early doors. You get the hardest game done,
Yeah.
and then you can build on from there. Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I'd take a draw if we get a win, then even better. But a draw would be pretty good considering the recent results we've had there. But I think they're doing quite well in terms of. I think they're top of the league and doing quite well. Obviously,
Yeah. I
we're
read that
5 points. What,
sorry,
sorry?
mate. And I was just saying that they have a few injuries, but they're doing well in their Serie A. So it's they're still doing well without maybe the best players. I think the striker had a little bit of problems. Not sure if he's gonna play tomorrow or not, but I just read that he might be out.
Yeah, Osserman is it? I think he might be. I think he's a doubt, which is obviously good news. But yeah, going into that one, it's gonna be one of those difficult games, I think. But I thought we'd just talk about lineups because obviously we mentioned before about the Everton game where Tsimikas comes in for Robbo and we go Elliot, Fabinho, and Carvalho. What type of changes do you reckon he makes for this one? Do you reckon Melo comes in? Do you reckon Jota comes in? There's a few people, and obviously Thiago back in training today. I don't think he'll maybe on the bench, but I don't think he'll start after the injury.
Yeah, maybe on the bench in a few minutes, if depending on the score as well, because you don't want to put him into a game which is still very intense. If it's more if he can control it. But I think there will be some rotation, yes. And why not see Arthur start a game, and rest some of the others that has played now, and also ahead of Wolverhampton on Saturday. We need to kind of rotate a bit and rest players as well, because there will be many games now up until the World Cup, as you mentioned. So, I could see Milner, Arthur, and probably Fabinho in midfield to start with. Because I
Yeah,
think Curtis Jones is out now as well, isn't he? Because I just read something now today that he was not spotted in training, so he might not be fit yet, or just
yeah.
had a setback or whatever.
It's bizarre. It's a bizarre one because he was in training because obviously the Liverpool Twitter posted it. And when I say Liverpool Twitter, I mean the Liverpool official page, not like Liverpool Twitter, like all the gimps and that. But Jones was in training and then he wasn't on the bench for Everton game. So I don't know. I mean, I hope it's not something else. I hope it's not another injury because that's the fucking last thing we need. We need players coming back from injury because it seems to just keep getting injuries all the time, which is not what we need at this moment. Rodan pods, but Napoli was a horrific proposition a couple of years back. They've lost a hell of a lot of players, including their spines. I'm quietly confident. Yeah, I mean, because we've only played them 6 times, it's hard to gauge, isn't it, where we're up to and where they're up to. But when we've played them, like in the 18 and 19 seasons, so like we played them in September 2019 at their place, and they beat us 2-0, and that was probably when we had a good side. So it's hard to gauge, but I think, like you said, it's a nice change from what we've been doing, which is the Premier League, and it's kind of we've been having every game going right. We need to really have a good performance here and show the fight, like you mentioned before, after the Man United catastrophe and then beating Bournemouth, and you thought, right, here's the start of us starting to put some wins together, and obviously we beat Newcastle, which was great, but then we drew again with Everton, which I don't know how much you can read into because I think we tend to struggle at Goodison anyway, apart from obviously last year where we battered them, but maybe we're starting to get to the point where we're looking a bit better, but I don't think we have control of games anywhere near as good as we should be. But I think with the loss of Thiago and players like that, then that's bound to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, like you said now as well, like we do look good in some periods of, like in the derby, we do look good, but we lose that momentum as well quite quickly. And I don't know what the problem is really, but if we're just too lazy, too sloppy, if we're tired, but we need to be able to control the games more. And I think against Napoli away as well, you can't just. You have to go there and fight as well, because it will be a tough game. I was thinking that maybe, even if Luis Diaz is one that can run forever, it seems like when you look at him, maybe he could need a rest, or maybe come in the second half and you put Jota on the left with Nunez or Firmino as a striker and top front. So. I don't know. What do you think about that? Like, should Jota go in and play straight away, or should he be used as a sub? Because I'm thinking, I just happy that he's back because he's scored loads of goals last season, and we need someone who can actually change games or come in from the bench and score goals, or even start if you need, to rotate as well, because he's got the quality.
Well, it's nice to obviously came on against Everton and looked. I mean, he was getting stuck in like Diogo Jota does. But I think it's nice to have the option to drop. Well, not drop Diaz, but like rotate Diaz a little bit more, because obviously the Palace game, he was like a man possessed. He was running everywhere, and I think he's been the same, and he's been just legging it everywhere. But there's been times at the end of the games where he's looked absolutely fucked. And I think that's where we need to have those those rotation periods of games, like 60-30, like Klopp likes to do. Maybe play Jota the last 30 or vice versa, just stuff like that. But everyone's been throwing the team predictions in, so let's just have a little look through everyone's and see what we've got at the minute. So Doug's gone for Ali, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Fabinho, Arthur. Is it Arthur or Arthur? I like Arthur just because the cartoon. I'm just going to go Arthur. Why not? Fabinho, Arthur, Elliot, Diaz, Jota, Salah. Ant's gone for Ali, Robbo, Matip, Gomez, Trent, Arthur, Fab, Elliot, Salah, Diaz, Jota. Have a feeling Verge get a rest. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about that one, to be fair. And then Dom's gone for Ali, Gomez, Matip, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Fab, Arthur, Elliot, Salah, Diaz, Jota. Dave's gone for Ali, Robbo, Matip, Van Dijk, Gomez, Arthur, Fab, Elliot, Diaz, Nunes, Salah. What are you thinking? Lad?
Yeah, I don't mind us having like the best start 11 if possible, because hopefully, with, like you said, a few players coming back, we can, make substitutions in the second half if needed, even if we, leading or drawing, whatever. But it's just that we actually can change the way we play and to rotate and actually be prepared for Wolves as well, because like I said, there will be many games. We need to have these options, and I kind of like maybe Elliot. I like how Elliot plays, but maybe he needs to be a little bit of rest as well. Even if he's young and fresh in that perspective, still thinking of, even if he hasn't shown it, I'm still thinking of the the injury that he had last season, that now he played many games, maybe he needs to come off for a bit. I would like to see him start because he's great, but I'm just thinking that Klopp maybe use like Milner, Arthur, Fabinho, for example, with Elliot be able to come in. I do like to see Nunez start because I think we just want him to score goals
And get rhythm as well.
Yeah, exactly, because now he has been, since the suspension, he just came back. So it's good if he can just come back and actually play games, because that's what he needs to be able to score goals as well. And he is, the star transfer, if you like, loads of money that we spent on him. He's a young kid that scored many goals in Benfica. He started well for us, so we just want him to get off the mark properly. So don't mind him actually starting, but got a feeling that it might be Firmino anyway.
Yeah, I think it'll be Nunes, like you said, just because he was out of the team for 3 games. So I think we need to get him back up to speed, and if we can use Champions League games to get him some goals as well, because I think Champions League will suit him better than it does the Premier League at this moment in time, where he is up to in his Liverpool career. But if we go, say, Diaz, Nunes, and Salah, and then bring Jota on for the last 30, which I think that would be ideal, and then do the same with Nunes for Bobby.
Yeah. Would you actually start with Trent, or maybe even use Gomez at the right back and get Matip in the centre, central with Van Dijk?
I think I'm torn on this one. I think Trent starts. I think you go Trent, Matip, and Van Dijk, and I think Robertson, because he got rested. I think Robertson starts, but I mean, I wouldn't be averse to Gomez being right back, because obviously then it gives us a bit more defensive solidity in there. But then you'd lose the output that Trent gives you. But then Trent's not writ.
So maybe start Matip and use Gomez on the bench to be able to swap Trent for Gomez later on.
Yeah. Because if you start Gomez, then he's playing 90 minutes either way, because he's playing at right back, and then you need to put him in to bring Trent on. So I think start Trent, and then you can always bring him off in the towards the end of the game. Same with the midfield as well. Like, it depends if he wants to go with Melo. Like, obviously, Klopp said last week that he's been involved in training. He was in training today as well, but Klopp said he hasn't played footy for ages, which is true. So it just depends where he's up to. But I think a game in the Champions League against a European team rather than a Premier League team is maybe a good start, albeit, like I mentioned, like it's not been a happy hunting ground for us.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's an advantage, but because it comes from the Italian league and knows the position a little bit as well.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't know if that's anything to put in consideration, but you never know. You know, he might have played against them before and knows a bit about the players as well. So,
and well, anything can help if he's one of the main reasons why we get a result, then it's fucking absurd, aren't we? And talking of Italian footy, 30 years to the day Football Italia started. Remember that? I do. What a show that was! Absolutely loved it. But so, what in terms of your start 11? Then we've done it in bits there.
Yeah,
just fly through it. Go through it. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm with you at what we said. So obviously Alisson in goal, and then from the left, I think there will be Robbo, Van Dijk, Matip, and Trent starting with Gomez on the bench. It sounds good to me. I think it will be Milner, Fabinho, and Arthur playing in the midfield, because I think we need a bit of experience and some bodies in there against Napoli away, and maybe use Elliott in the second half for Arthur, for example. And I hope that will be. I think it will be Jota, Nunez, and Salah, and that we can, bring on Diaz in the second half and give him some rest as well ahead of Wolverhampton, because I think Jota, now when he's back, needs to obviously get his games as well to come back to form and stuff. So that could be a starting 11 for me.
That sounds good. It's just nice to have options, isn't it? Because it's when we've been looking at the bench, like the last couple of games, it's just been like, oh my god, like 2 keepers, loads of kids, and now we've got Thiago back in training. I'm not sure if Carvalho was in training today, but Melo was, Jota, Matip. So there's
and obviously, Diaz could start as well with, substitute him with Jota later on. But I would like to see Jota start now, because like you said, when he came in against Everton, he looked really on it. And, Diaz, obviously, with him running, and he's being really good as well. But I don't mind, to have him actually fresh coming into a game instead of starting the game as well.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, we can bring him on, like Dom says there, like Jota to get 20 to 30 tomorrow, then play Saturday against Wolves, against obviously his former club. So he's going to be bang up for that one as well. But Doug, I've got to give a shout out to this proper dad joke. Where is it? There we go. What is Arthur's favourite food? Marshmallow. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, let's hope he's I'm trying to think of a reply to that, but I can't. I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left. Score predictions, lad. I've asked everyone to put the score predictions in. What do you reckon?
Well, I said before that I would be happy with a draw away against Napoli, because I think it will be much, I wouldn't say much easier, but easier to go and play it away against Ajax and Rangers. But I would say just go with 1-1. I just got the feeling that, it will be quite a tight game, and then both team scores. So 1-1.
Yeah,
boring, I know, but that's the way it is.
I'll take a 1-1, but it's like, it depends who plays. Like, if he goes like proper for it, then we've got a good chance. But I don't know of the way we've been playing. It's either he thinks, right, we're just gonna see what happens and go for it, and if we lose, then sound. But or just think, like, let's be conservative and let's just get a draw, and then we can build on that, because like I said, it's probably the most difficult game of the group. So
and I'm already in my mind, focusing on Wolves, because I really want us to, win. I know we won 9-0 against Bournemouth and all that, but I want us to, put in a great performance in the Premier League to, start doing well there as well. I know Champions League obviously will be focused as well, but this is the hardest away game in that group. So I don't see this game as, the game that will make us go through. It will be the other games. So if we do lose, I don't like it, but that's not as important as actually winning against Wolves on Saturday at home.
Yeah, Wolves is the massive one, definitely, especially now we're only, where are we, 5 points off the top, which is
So
is it? Or six? I know it's 6, isn't it? 6 points off top. But
yes, so we really need 3 points on Saturday.
yeah, and I think last year, we were after 6 games last year, I think we were top on 14 points. So we're only 5 points off last year, and we're only 6 off top this year, considering how bad we've been. How bad we've been, relatively speaking, in terms of how good we usually are. I think that's the kind of thing we're used to us being so good. So when we're not, it's much more noticeable. But Ant's gone for 2-2. Doug's gone for 1-1. Dom's gone for 2-0 to the Reds. Shout out to Paul. Paul's in. Nice one, Paul. Anyone else? Jay has gone for lose 2-1 reverse psychology. Yeah, why not? If we win 2-1, then yeah, we'll have a chat about that next time. Mark's gone for 2-0. And I think that's everyone I've got there. And then Ant's just put a comment, actually. I didn't see this one. Sorry, Ant. Automated offsides, lads, as well. Starts tonight. I haven't read that much about this, and I don't know too much about it, to be honest. Have you read anything about this, Kristian?
No, I only heard about it being used in the World Cup, I think. So
yeah,
I haven't heard anything about it in the Champions League, to be honest.
No, I hadn't, to be fair. I saw obviously the stuff about the World Cup stuff, but I wasn't sure if it was happening in terms of Champions League and that. But yeah,
will be interesting, though.
It will be. More shit to talk about when it goes wrong, inevitably.
Exactly. more tech stuff that will take away all the emotions from the game.
Mark, the jokes are flying out here. The dad joke was a bit melodramatic, and Jay's put he'll do half a job in midfield. I don't want Arthur doing half a job. And all these jokes flying around, I'm just dying to start singing the Arthur theme tune, which I'm not going to do. I'm going to get out of here before I start doing that.
I was just gonna say that it was on Twitter before, but it's kind of funny if we look back. Like, what was it like? What is it? Back in 2010 when we played Napoli away, and we saw that starting 11. Did you see that on Twitter? And we look at how far we have come, even if we're not really in a position now we're thinking we're really, really great. But if you look back, the seasons that's been, and we've been great, we won all the titles, and you look at who actually started that game. Do you remember the starting 11?
Yeah, so I was on the Redman yesterday, and Paul asked this question, and I got a few of them, to be fair. The one I got quickest was the Ivanovic one, because I saw like he got referenced on like fucking Australian TV or whatever, and I was just like, couldn't have picked the worst player to fucking.
But we had Pepe Reina, we had Martin Kelly, Skirtle, Carragher, Konchesky, John Shalvey, Spearing, Christian Poulsen, and then we had Jovanovic, Babel,
and Gog.
Yeah.
That is horrific, isn't it? It really is. Like Kara's been just like, I mean, in terms of defense, I suppose it's not that bad, barring Konchesky, but that midfield, I mean, Jay Spearing minus, because Jay Spearing's sound. We've done an interview with Jay Spearing. I'm not going to lump him in with fucking Christian Poulsen, who's probably one of the worst players to ever pull on a Liverpool shirt. Milan Jovanovic as well is probably up there as one of the worst. Yeah. He was the whole fucking Superman diving header against Arsenal.
Yeah.
What was he fucking doing that day, the Mong? But yeah, let's have a look what else we've got. Jay has put Mick Berger debut cough plug. That's tomorrow, Jay. What's tomorrow? I think tomorrow in 1996 was Paddy Berger's debut. And Jay wants me to talk about his interview and the Copite Origins stuff, which if you want to, go and have a look for it. Just type in Copite Podcast, Patrick Berger, you'll find them all. You'll find them all on there. But I'll post about that one tomorrow, Jay, don't worry. Richie's going 2-1 to us. It's going to be a tough one.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, Jovanovic head on the floor. That was the Ngog scored. I think Joe Cole got sent off.
But that's like the worst misjudgment of a ball that I ever seen in my life. We would be able to do it drunk. So and he's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious. I meant because we won't have a show till late on that one. Yeah, Jay, I know. I'll tweet about it. If you haven't seen the Berger interview with Jay, then go and have a watch of it on the Copite Origins. So there's Paddy Berger, there's Robbie Fowler, and there's Sammy Ipia. So there's all three on there. So go and have a watch of all them. And Jay, if you want to you might as well tell everyone the next one's going to be. Just put it in the comments. Why not? Why not? We're gonna be wrapping up in 30 seconds. We'll leave with that. And then Adventures. All right, lads, good to be back. What do you think about Salah being made to assist more out wide to accomplish Nunes as a 9, where with Mane they had the freedom to rotate in and out? Adam, nice one, Adam, for the comment. What are your thoughts on that one, Kristian?
I think it's a good point. I think, Salah, it looks like he's more of a provider now than actually going more focused on goals. But it's also a thing where, the oppositions have actually, they did it last season as well, even if Salah was really, you score his goals and stuff. But, they have kind of learned the way he play as well. So doesn't look as dangerous as it was like the 2-3 first seasons, but he still creates loads of chances. But I think there's a point that with Nunes playing that Salah will actually be more of a provider from his side as well. So it's more of a 50-50 situation where it's not actually that kind of a winger who goes more central. I think, leaving that space for Nunes is an idea that is really good because he's that kind of striker. With that said, though, I don't want Salah to become more of a player that goes wide and looking for assists. I still want him to be, around the box and even more into the box as well, because he will get those penalties in that way as well, and he do score goals from different angles as well. But it's a fair point, and I hope that he can actually provide for Nunes. It's just more of a question of Nunes actually start scoring as well, because I put money on Salah being the top, being top of the assist league this season. So I just hope that continues.
Yeah, I saw a heat map side by side of last year and this year so far, and it's similar. I just think it's certain part of the midfield where if it's I mean the Klopp system's set up in such a way where that if we have certain players in, like a Thiago in, then the midfield is automatically further forward on that left side, so you get more space on the right side. And it's just little things like that where once we get Thiago back, I think we'll see Salah in a more central position, because I think we need to see him there more. I think definitely, because it hasn't been enough this year. Obviously, he scored a couple and played well in some games, but we need to see more of him in the game where he can really get at people and show how good he is. But Jay's put the Copite Origins episode 4 is about Mick Moran. Oh, sound. That'll be or Juve be the shortest episode. Intro, he's a prick. End of episode. Mine will be even shorter than that then. Mine will just be didn't play for Liverpool, fuck off. That'll be it. That'll be the end of it. And Deco, that Saidi Suso tweet Mick shows how far we've come. Yeah. Just saw Nuri Sahin was 34 yesterday, and I just found one of his goals against West Brom, I think, and it's Suso passing to Saidi, passing to Sahin, and it's just fucking hell. That feels like a long time ago, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think I actually could have been at that game, if I remember right. But anyway, when you posted that tweet, I felt like if he's turning 34, because I remember he actually came through at Dortmund and he was 17, 18. So now when you posted that, it makes me feel old, even if I'm not that old.
You're not that old, lads. You're only, 3 years older than me?
Yeah,
4?
Yeah, just turned 36 in July.
So
still 4 years to go until the famous 40.
I think Jay's 36. Is that right, Jay? I'm not sure. 36 or between 36 and 40, Jay. I think Jay is. I knew he wasn't. And then, what else have we got? Let's have a look. Ad's asking, where is Jay? Jay's in work. I mean, you wouldn't think he was in work because he's put loads of comments in the chat, but he's probably working hard and playing hard in the comments as well, as both. But in terms of a score prediction, then, Kristian, you said 1. You're going for 1-1.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 1-1 as well, but I think if we go a bit more adventurous with the selection, then I think we might do well. But it's going to be a difficult one either way, isn't it? It's going to be a difficult game. But yeah, let's leave it there because we've done 44 minutes and I'm starving. I need to go and have some food. But yeah, the comments, to be honest, I've struggled to keep up with them. Mainly Jay, just absolutely spamming us with loads of different comments. But yeah,
At work.
at work, Jay
Yeah.
at work. I might send a
Yeah.
screenshot and go, "This is Jay at work."
Now we're looking forward to when he's back and join us.
He will. He'll have to. He'll join us next. Well, it's Paddy Berger's debut tomorrow, so he'll have to join us tomorrow or the day after, just in homage to his hero. But yeah, nice one everyone for jumping in. There's been loads of comments in there. Really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll try and do one tomorrow to talk about hopefully Liverpool getting a good result against Napoli, because I think we need it against them in particular to help our record against them, but we also need it to kind of get the Champions League kick-started and get our season kick-started a little bit more as well, and maybe Blood and Mello and Thiago back and Jota back and give them more minutes. So it's all looking a little bit better on the injury front, and hopefully looking a little bit better on the results front as well come tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Nice one, everyone. Nice one to Kristian as well. And yeah, we'll see you next time.